So today I'm going to show you how to import data into R and also how to export the data to maybe your computer or other places. So what we're going to do, the topics for today is, I'm going to do this one as import data into R, and then two, we're going to do export our data into your computer or somewhere else that you want to save your data. Maybe you want to use it next time. So we're going to look at the data formats or file formats, and you probably work with this a lot. So we're going to look at Excel files, which end with an extension SLS or XLSX. And we're going to look at CSVs files, which are just comma separated values and which end with extension .csv. And we're going to look at also other files, which are TSVs, which end with, this is tab separated values, and which end with extensions TSV. And you probably come across txt files, and this and delimited files with file extensions txt. Okay, so first of all, you have to set up your working directory. I'm gonna scroll this. You're gonna have to set up, so the first step is set up your working directory. Mine is already set up, but I'll show you how to do it. So if you see on my I have this on my side, on my right side you have this home, a desktop, and then there's a folder called Bibbing Codes, and then data. So these are my data that are saved in this folder. I already in my working directory. So you have to see what, let me say first, to see where your working directory is, you can use this function get working directory and then enter, and it will tell you. So for me, my working directory is desktop, and then the folder called Bibbing Codes, and then with data. And you can also, to set up, you can also do to set your working directory to a desktop or somewhere else. You can use this function called set working directories, set wd. And I'm just gonna do how mine looks like. So I'm just gonna call it desktop, and then there's a folder called that, and then there's another folder, and that folder called data. So that's how we set up my working directory. Alternatively, when you go on your right side here and you click on more on this wheel, and you click on more, you should be able to set your working directory from here. So you can just either set as working directory or go to your working directory if you haven't yet. Okay, so now we have a working directory, we have our data, we can see your data here in the working directory. Now we need to get the data into environment here so that we can start our data analysis. And to do that, so we're gonna start with, let's load our files into the environment. We already have it in our working directory, but we want to work with it now in our environment. So we're gonna start with Excel files, and if you haven't installed yet, first of all, you need to install packages that we can use to install to load your files or your data. So if you haven't yet, we're gonna install a package called read Excel that basically it read Excel files. I'm gonna show you. So packages, you need a quad. Now the package name is read Excel. Now what it does, it reads Excel files into R. Okay, so once you've installed your package, you need to load the library into your working directory so that you can be able to use that package. So we're gonna do library, and let's read Excel. So if you highlighted here, means that we've already installed it. And I'm gonna click run, and I'm gonna ignore that, and it should I didn't want to install package again, but anyway, it should be able to click library and load it. Okay, so now we've loaded the package that we need to install our file. Now we're gonna go ahead and install our file or our data into the environment. So reading the data file, and so now what in it, I'm gonna call mine df. You can name it anyway. You can call it data. You can name whatever you want. So I'm gonna call it df excel, and then I'm gonna use this function read excel from that package that we just loaded. I'm gonna call it read excel. There it is, and then I'm gonna load the read excel file into the package, into my environment. So I save it as data dot xlx. Okay, and then I'm gonna run, and you can see we have data here. So you can view your data either using view, or did you save df excel, tap complete and click run, and there you go. We'll need to delete this column. It's not really useful for us, or you can leave it, but just note that one extra column was added. Okay, so this is our data, and you can just scroll and see how many the columns. So you have 3,521 observations and 10 or 9 columns. Okay, you can also do a head df excel and click and run, and it should just show you the first 5 observations. So the type of column, so most of these are character variables. Okay, so we've loaded our Excel file. Now we're gonna go ahead and do our load our CSVs. Okay, so CSVs are just plain text files, and these are the most simple and common types of files that we use. For this file to load in CSVs, we need another package. So I'm gonna install the package which is readr. So packages readr, which basically just does the same. Helps you, or you can load other various types of files into R. And then we need to load a library again. Don't forget, once you install your packages, you still have to load it into your working directory. So library, what did we just read? Read R. So you don't have to put it in quotation, but you can, and you don't have to. I normally don't, so I just type read R, and if I do this, if I type, it should come up. That means that I've installed it. I'm gonna run that. Okay, so within CSV file, and we're gonna do that using this function from CSV called read/CSV. read-CSV. So I'm gonna save this as df what do you call it, CSV. You can save the name of your file however you like. You just make sure that you understand what it is, or if someone reads your code, knows what that data or file is about. Okay, so we have read. So this is read.csv, or there's a read-CSV. So both of them work the same. You can choose which one you want to work with. So I'll set my data as .csv, and let's click run. There you go. So again, we have 3,521 observations and 10 columns. Okay, so we're gonna load another one, the tsvs files, which end with extension tsv, and we're gonna use the same package readr and the same function readr to install the tsvs and other data set. I'm gonna save this again as the tsv, and the function for this is read I can scroll down. I'm looking for TSP, or I can type before. So there you go. Read the TSP, and then we save it as the file name, which I save it as TSP. And I click on. There is my data again. So notice this has 9 columns. So TSP, or that function, didn't add an extra column unlike the other two data that we just loaded. So this is the same data set, nothing different. But then you notice that using this function, reading the read TSP, it didn't add an extra column to it. Okay, I'm gonna do the TXTs. And I'm going to use it's the same function from read. We can use the read the lim function, or we use the read table for this. So I'm going to do we call it TXT, and I'm going to use a function called read table. Read table, there we go. And then what was my file name? Data the txt, and header. I need to put a header so that it knows what the column names and not. Header is true, and then I run, and there you go. So there is a txt file, and I click on it. We'll just view the file or the data that we loaded, and again I have the same information, so the same variables and the same observations. Notice again I only have 9 columns, so this function didn't add an extra column to it. Okay, so we've learned how to load those files into R, and now we can work on them if you want to do some data analysis. And then once you've done, you might want to save what you worked on and use it the next time, or share it with your collaborators. So now I'm going to show you how to export the files from R to either your computer or somewhere else that you want to use it again, or share it with other people. So we're going to use the same packages. They'll read R, so I don't need to install new packages. And there are also different functions that you can use. So I'm going to use the CSV. I'm showing you how to export to a CSV file. And there are also other functions that you can use. So you either use the write. The write and okay, so write TSV. You can either use, if you want to save it as TSV, you can also use like the CSV. That's what we're gonna do now. Write the CSV, or even write a table. Okay. And I'm gonna show you how to do it as a CSV. So we're gonna call the function name write. You can use a /CSV -CSV, and then the file name that we saved here was CSV. Tap complete is much easier. And then I'm gonna save this, so you can save it as the same name, or you can use it a different name, or maybe df2. I'm gonna save this as menu. I know it's complicated, but you can have a better name than mine. So the CSV. So you have the function write to CSV, the file name, and then the new name that you want to save it to. And I run. So you see that I have a new file here called my new CSV file. And if you want to load it again, you can do the same and load it here in your environment so you can work with it. Okay, that's it for today, and let me know if you have any comments or if you have any questions in the comment section. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.